Hello and welcome back to Chez Chezanny's Kitchen Table Conversation series. We love March because it's the month we commemorate International Women's Day on March 8th. And to honor this, we have a very special guest today, kitchen goddess from Melbourne, Australia, Clare Duncan. Artist, qualified chef, and pastry chef who started working in commercial kitchens at 14 and her apprenticeship at 15 for celebrity chef Greg Malouf. She and Antonio will share their thoughts about a question I have been thinking about. Does cooking have a gender?
Do you think that cooking is a feminine expression only? Does cooking have a gender? So, what can you both share about these thoughts?
Yeah.
Really feminine. Are you a complete woman when you are cooking, or is it that you have experienced some of the strong part of your humanity, call it masculinity or masculine spirit, comes out when you are cooking? Or it would depend on what you are cooking, how your mood is that day when you are cooking.
Like the above. Okay, I'll start at the beginning. Like I really struggled to draw a line between masculine and feminine. I was raised by an incredible woman who managed to sort of convey both within a single human, and encouraged to follow curiosity and passion. So hence that led me into cooking. And I mean, the first commercial kitchen that I was like heavily involved in, there was more women than men within that space. And within each individual, they also were incredibly masculine and incredibly feminine and incredibly everything in between. Like there is something militant about a well-run kitchen that needs to be adhered to. And I don't know, I guess, yes, in the past, you know, with conscription, the men go first, like maybe it was that kind of, I don't know, ideal. But anyway, that's maybe where it comes from, the calling it masculine. I don't know, but anyway, I currently cook with every gender. It is heavily mood based. Yeah, like I was telling you, Paula, recently, I've been cooking through lots of recipes that are incredibly sort of, I think recipes that this chef that I work for would have loved. And, you know, the little tweaks that you're just like, oh yeah, that would have been perfect because he passed away last year. Yeah. Yeah. And when I'm doing that, I'm cooking with his femininity in a way. Like he had a dainty touch with a salad. Like you would, you know, you don't want to bruise the leaves. And with the parsley, you know, every sort of leaf needed to be dried. So when your sharp blade goes through that leaf, it's a clean cut. There's no bruising. You know if that's feminine or masculine, but it's always so, I don't know, it's a release. I think it takes me away from everything else.
Recently, I listened to this podcast called The Pot Talk, and it's run just by men unpacking their new ways of expressing their masculinity that's very focused on mental health. And all of them mention coincidentally how cooking has been a tool for them to express their inner them, I'll say, humanity. But the two skills that then they mentioned as important for them to discover their spirit or who they are or how they feel, how they connect with their emotions, but also with their mind as well, is cooking, because cooking enabled them to fully focus, because otherwise you might burn your burn your fingers or burn the kitchen or something. Fully focused, but also um, be very in the moment. And I, from my generation, speaking about my generation, the men that I knew, my grandfathers, grandparents, my masculine figures, if something they lacked was being fully present, they were all over the place. Like, I have to do this, I have to accomplish this, I have to be successful, and you would never see them fully present. So again, going back to these, the memories that you recall from cooking, I don't think have ever inspired you to think if you were bringing your feminine side as humans or your masculine side, and if there is something like this division. So going back to the kitchen, what do you consider the spirit of the ancestors or your figures in the kitchen come out as your source of inspiration? You've mentioned your grandma, Claire, but Antonio, do you recall any masculine beings or deities or spirits? I remember books and films in which Mayan, Aztec spirits that are more masculine, like would inspire recipes like cacao beverages or so. Let's keep on unpacking this idea of
Mhm.
the
Yes, I
feminine of
think
the. Mm,
yes, I think
mm,
one question comes with the other, and I think we're dragging a bit more of the first episode because I think everything is connected, of course. But there are two things that came to my mind when we were talking about this. And I probably mixed my answer in a long answer, but I will try to stay focused. Uh, so first one, it's like the book Like Water to Chocolate, this Mexican novel, and I feel a lot of times that uh, cooking it's just transmission of energy. So in the book we have Tita that she have a role that she probably haven't even choose.
mhm,
Uh, but life is giving her this path, I will say. Uh, and sometimes it feels like that. Sometimes I think for many people, uh, cooking becomes something that they just have to do it. And with love or without love, it's something that uh, you have to provide, you have to feed your family, you have to be the responsible one, and everyone at the table has to eat somehow, you know. And the same as the book, I mentioned that because that responsibility is absorbed with willing or not, but someone. In in the case of this book, which tells the story brilliantly with these magic powers and feelings, I think there's important message there. And the second idea that comes to my mind and bringing back memories and feelings because I didn't have a male figure in my life. So there was empty space there. But first thing that came to my mind was the film from Tassos Boulmetis, uh, which it has many names because it's been traduced to many languages, Politique et Cuisine, or The Salt of Life, or A Touch of Spice. It
I think
probably probably you know one of those names because there's many. There's every country I think adapted to his own way. There's like cilantro or something. And it's a movie that you won't find on Amazon or Netflix or Disney Plus. It's a movie that was released in 2003, and it was one of the movies that changed my life. Yes, I really it's one of my favorite movies, and not to step away from the question, this was the story of a little kid who was running from Istanbul. His family has to move in the 50s and 60s because there was a political tension between Turkey and Greece. Uh, so he lived in Turkey at the beginning, and he visited his father's spice shop, and his father was kind of his mentor, philosopher. And then he had to rapture all that, go to Athens, and met these new people, go to this new school. And in the middle of the chaos, he was where? In the kitchen. With who? With the women who somehow they were trying to be the heart of the situation, cooking and organizing, and he didn't want to go play with the kids. He didn't want to hunt for birds on the bushes. His father was worried that he has some issues, sexual issues, and at school he played with the girls, and he was so interested in cooking with the smells, the spices, and many of that. So it's a beautiful story. I encourage everyone to watch it.
And I feel humanity, genderless.
Yes,
It is,
yeah.
there's something in our spirits that kitchens enable to just be released. And you talked about energy. There was this essay from again Geraldine de Ruyter in which he talks about her husband and how he cooks, and when she sees him cooking, for her is the most sexiest, sluttiest expression that he wants. She saw she desires him so much when she sees him cook, and the same happens to me, right? When I see my boyfriend cooking, it's like, oh my God, yes. So, sorry that I interrupted you, Claire.
No, you're helped.
Tell us about the masculine expression of cooking. What do you feel as a female when you see your man cooking, for instance? I don't know, or other men. So yummy, jamilicious.
When I see my women cooking, like,
There's
like,
something exuberant about it.
that you know exactly what you are doing. It's the best. Like, everyone should get back into the kitchen. That's why I'm in my kitchen doing this.
Yeah.
Like, it's the kitchen's the heart of the home, without a doubt. Like, anything could go down in the kitchen. It's great.
Yeah.
Everyone, of any gender belongs in the kitchen.
I invite you, Claire, to join us in some other episodes to discuss other things that are related to the human spirit in cooking. And thank you for inspiring us to rethink if there's such thing as gender in cooking, or like you said, it should be genderless. It should be considered as a human expression, an act of love, and acts of love, yeah, do come genderless. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, or yeah, it is the human spirit. That's something that I would have as a takeout from today's conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will have a third episode with you and continue this idea. You know that I am a person who works
Okay,
out of inspiration.
writing down the half an hour ones.
And cooking for me is inspiration in my life. So we will continue this conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
short, but anyway,
Mwah. Thank
happy
you, guys.
to.
Thank you, Claire. Thank
Okay.
you. Have a great week ahead.
I hope you both do as well.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Claire. I'm so glad to see you, and I hope I'll talk to you soon.